journey into the depths of Full Moon's private dungeon.
Anybody there?
As Stuart Gordon, the director of such horror classics as Reanimator and From Beyond, unchains his most terrifying creation and lets it loose on you. Castle Freak. Stuart Gordon returns to Giove, Italy, the setting of Full Moon's Pit and the Pendulum, and brought along old friends Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton to tell this pulse-pounding tale of horror.
Azione!
Signorina!
That's what you say. No, Mom, run!
Run, Mom, run!
One more time.
But who was here before, in the beginning? Her son! He didn't die!
Move it a little closer to the wall. All right, Jessica, let's try it again. Hearing you in.
Well, she's been beaten by the freak in the film, and Stuart wanted to see some pretty extreme stuff. Wanted to see her skull cracked open, her eyeball popping out. So this is all very improvised. Kind of just took some pieces we had lying around that we brought along with us. She did a lot of scrapes and scratches. And also we got some real brains for this one. Stuart gets imaginative sometimes.
Nice circle. Here, man.
By the way, I don't know if Stuart told you this, but this film has literally been blessed by the Pope, or by the Vatican at least.
Let the cat run out. Let the cat, you let go of the cat and then grab it. Stop. Let's do it again.
I think his directorial style adapted to, I mean, you have to realize that he created this project and this world, and so it's his choice not to have the humor in there, and I think rightly so. But, you know, sometimes when there is humor to be had in a script, Stu has a way of, you know, keeping a set kind of light and joking and easing and laying back and making everybody feel real comfortable. And that really kind of wasn't the case on this film. It was much more serious.
I think it was in From Beyond, we had a title for Stuart, and our title was More is Not Enough. More blood, more slime, more screaming. And in this movie, he wants it to be more like having a documentary feel, and he wants us to really, you know, I don't want to say downplay, what's the word? I want to say more, you know, very realistic as far as we're concerned in our relationship and what's going on with us. With the monster stuff, I mean, I think that's really heightened a lot. But with us, he's always asking us to do less, which, you know, we like that kind of acting anyway. It's, you know, it's more real, I think. So we're marveling at that with Stuart, and it's fun. You know, it's working.
I was just about to go to bed, John. I took my pill.
Well, I could wake you up, Sleeping Beauty. You are in my castle. You know. You're so beautiful.
John, please, I can't.
I miss you, Susie. I miss you so much.
Stop it!
For Christ's sake. It's been 9 months.
I know.
I haven't touched a drop.
I know, you've been very good, and I know that I should try to forgive you, that I should want to forgive you, but I can't.
One of the fun things we've been doing is we sit around and we talk about what's scary to you. And everybody has their own idea of what they believe is scary.
Stuart's films are character-based. And I think that there are some real complex relationships in this movie. And it's turgid. It's it's lower depths. It's kind of mining in a lower cave in the mine. And I think people will be fascinated with that. And to say nothing of just the sheer amazement and curiosity of the whole idea of this freak, this castle freak, and just the sheer virtuosity of the special effects ability of these guys. You know, Stewart has created a new monster.
Creating a monster is no easy task, especially one as gruesome as the Castle Freak. It takes a special actor like Pit and the Pendulum veteran Jonathan Fuller and the talented makeup effects gurus from Optic Nerve Effects.
You know, this whole process takes about 6 hours to really get in. So it's like I put in almost a full day's worth of work before I start working. This really hasn't been done too often, if ever, except on a midget. So
the only time since we go back, we follow history of makeup, and the only time we can think of this being done is on a movie called The Manitou, where Tom Berman did a full body makeup on a midget. And that's the only time we can think of it was done from, you know, almost head to toe, full body appliances.
The design for the freak was derived out of what would it be like to be locked in a cave for 40 years and on a daily basis be tortured, beat, and pummeled. What would somebody like that look like? What would that be like? And so when he walked out, no, that's what it would look like. Oh, very good.
The face that they created for the monster and the mouth, and I mean, he's a human being, really. He's not even a monster, but we call him El Monstro. Is just fantastic. It looks so real, but you know, he's got a lot of blood on him at different times, and I like seeing the makeup. When there's too much blood, I just go, ugh.
One actor who didn't have trouble with the Castle Freak's look was newcomer Jessica Dollaride, who played the blind daughter, Rebecca.
I wasn't grossed out at all. The only thing that grosses me out is the ultra slime, which is like hard to get off. It doesn't get off at all. But the blood and everything does not gross me out. Everybody goes, ew, that's so disgusting. How could you stand that? I'm not bugged by it. I know what goes into it. I know the sweat and the labor that goes into it. So I'm not bugged by it because I know what it is. If somebody just like turned around, like that freak, like turned around and just stood in front of me, like all of a sudden I didn't know who the heck it was, I'd probably be really freaked out. But I know who it is and I know what it's doing, so I'm not really freaked out.
I slimed you, Dollarhide.
Castle Freak.
It's a human being monster.
Hideous.
This is Giorgio without makeup. This is me, what I really look like. One of the reasons I got into acting to begin with, when I was a strange kid. Who wouldn't be to put up with this, right?
Hungry.
This is quite an unusual film. Definitely an unusual film.
But it's like life. It's good and it's bad. It's up and it's down, and you know.
And loose.
I know Stewart's intention in this movie is to really, really scare the heck out of people, and I think we're going to do it.
Another terrifying collaboration with Stuart Gordon and Full Moon.
Stop!